Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Episode 16 of Just a Couple of Thoughts. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Been a solid minute. We've been kind of busy with planning stuff, so...
It's amazing how busy you can be when you don't have any school and you're just working a part-time job, in my case.
It was more of we were planning a trip and then the self-improvement, going to the gym. You know, I realized after we going to the gym that we actually needed a couple more rest days in order to record.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to talk about just what we've been up to, Sarah?
Yeah, since we haven't talked in a while, I figure we should just do like a little recap. Just talk about what's happening with us. Because I feel like, sometimes we don't do that. So just what's going on with us and what's happening. What our plans are.
Yeah. Our main reason why we took this kind of like, it's 3 weeks now, probably 4 once it gets uploaded, is because we recently took a trip to Vegas.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. And also lazy. I think it's mostly just us being lazy, but yes, our trip to Vegas did consume a lot of time.
I think it was also because it wasn't something that we were really thinking about. I was thinking about like going to the gym and going to work.
Yep.
And
I've been thinking about work and,
yeah.
Stuff like
and
that.
going back to school, because we're going to go back to school in a couple days. Well, by the time this podcast comes out, I'll already be back in school, but...
So the main reason why I went to Vegas is because me and one of our friends, Discount Xanthem, who actually came on this podcast before, went to EVO. Everyone else just like enjoyed Vegas. Some people it was their first time there. Some people, wasn't. It was actually my first time there, so that was pretty cool just to stay in Vegas. I got a nice room for everyone, and it was nice. It was
a beautiful room.
We stayed at the MGM Signature. Which, as far as the room goes, it's a pretty great room. Like, it's all suites, so it was a little pricey, but it's pretty affordable if you want to have that like slightly high end rooms instead of just having like really basic, just like, oh, here's a double room. Yeah, we went to EVO. There's not much we did exactly. It was.
Well, we didn't stay very long. Yeah, we only stayed like one full day.
We stayed one full day. I didn't plan the trip like entirely that well. It was mostly just like, oh, we wanted to go there on this day, enjoy EVO, and then leave on this day because I didn't want to miss 20 days of work.
Yeah.
But next time we go, we're gonna make it a much longer trip because this was a kind of a short notice trip relatively. We planned a couple of months ahead, but it's like that's not really enough to plan like a long-term trip. It was very cool. I enjoyed Vegas a lot.
We drove.
Yeah, we drove.
So from where we live,
the Bay Area
to Vegas, it's about a 9-hour drive.
Yep.
9-10 hour drive.
Honestly, the ride isn't that bad as long as you prep for it. Yeah.
Well, the ride there wasn't too bad.
Because we prepped for it.
Yeah, mostly because we were sleeping. I was sleeping.
Yeah. And I'm fine with riding for long hours, but the ride back, we kind of did like a full day of Vegas and then we rode back.
Yeah. So
I was tired, everyone else was tired, and it was kind of like miserable getting back.
It was also really dark.
Yeah.
We drove mostly in the dark.
It was dark both ways times.
Yeah, but I feel like it was like super dark when we went back. So I don't know.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, because going back and leave at night, because you're in the middle of the desert, there's not many lights around. It's literally just you, the road, and the other cars. It is pretty dark, at least the initial part getting back. It's a fun trip though. Like, if I like road trips. I like just hanging around with a bunch of people and just driving one car and just taking a long trip.
I like sightseeing. That's like my favorite thing to do. We stopped by Baker, not to be confused with Bakersfield, but we did stop in Bakersfield as well. But we went to Baker, which has the world's largest thermometer, which I didn't know was something that anybody wanted or was like
a thing.
Yeah, I was like, who's competing, right? So they had the world's largest thermometer, and we took a picture there. And we went to the alien jerky place.
That was an interesting place, the alien jerky place.
See? you were like, I don't know, you didn't seem too excited to go, but we got there, and there was a cool building. You thought the building was cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
It had a DeLorean in the front.
I didn't really care for jerky. It was just a cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm not a big jerky person, but I thought, like, it was a really cool building.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because it's like a really, like, touristy kind of thing. The whole building is silver, right? Because it's all alien kind of inspired, right?
Yeah.
And you can take a picture inside with some alien on a bench or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we did that. But it was like a really... it was just a really cool looking place. And I didn't want anybody to look it up before we went. Mm-hmm. So I wanted people to be like kind of surprised when we got there. So
I think most of us were like surprised when we got to most of the places we went. Because it was more of... I don't say we were unprepared. That's not 100% true. It was more of like everyone else didn't really look anything up. When we got there, like everyone was pretty surprised about the rooms. Because I set up the rooms, knew what they looked like already.
Yeah.
So, that was probably one of my favorite parts about the trip, just staying at the suite.
Yeah.
Because I dropped some money for the suites because I wanted to stay at a nice place.
Yeah.
And it was a nice place.
And you can do that when you have spending money, you know?
Mm-hmm. When you're able to be an adult.
Yeah.
That was nice too. Vegas, I mean, okay, other than the heat,
yeah,
I really like Vegas, honestly.
It's much more fun as an adult going to Vegas than it is when you're like under 18.
Okay, because if you're under 18, like, unless you learned early, you don't know how to drive, so you can't really get to places. And the only places around you in the strip is like just casinos and adult places. So like, what are you gonna do? But when you're an adult, like, you could drive wherever you want. You can sightsee wherever you want.
You can drink anywhere. Everything's open.
Anywhere. Yeah, everything's open. It's super easy to stay up all the time in Vegas.
Yeah.
So
that's what I really appreciated about Vegas. It's like I can go out and there's still stuff to do, which I thought was like really cool. I'm like, that's awesome.
I can now understand why when people say like, I like to live in Vegas, like because one, house is cheaper over there. And there's lots of entertainment to do there. I don't know if I can see myself living in Vegas, just me personally. But it is a fun location.
The heat is so bad.
Yeah, the heat is the main issue though.
It was so dry.
Although, fun fact, I guess, when I was checking out for the rooms, apparently, one of the people there that was checking in was talking about like how when they're the most busy and like when they're not busy at all. And apparently, the winter, they're not busy at all. At least the MGM Signature.
Hey, maybe that's the time to go.
Yeah, so if you ever want to go to Vegas casually, I guess go in the winter because apparently it's not busy. Everyone else is just busy.
I wonder
busy
if the rates are cheaper in the wintertime.
I don't know.
Because I feel like if nobody's going, then the rates would be like a little bit... I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I gotta check that out. But yeah, if you ever want to go to Vegas casually, I suggest the winter, I guess. Well, that's what I heard here.
And it's not as hot.
No.
So in the wintertime, it can get actually kind of cold.
Mm-hmm. And I'd rather it be somewhat cold than really hot.
It's unbearable. Like when we were there,
it's not that unbearable.
No, well, you weren't walking in the heat like I was because I walked. Well, you were kind of inside the whole time, but like when I was outside for like half an hour, walking in 110 in the dry heat.
I mean, I was walking half an hour because I wanted to cut through some places to go from our hotel to the Evo location. I went by myself one time.
Where'd you go?
Our hotel to the Evo location.
Wait, but that's not that bad, though.
I mean, it's not that bad.
I mean, I walked from our hotel to the Bellagio, past Caesar's Palace, to the Venetian. Mm-hmm. That's about a 20-minute walk from the Bellagio, but it feels like 40 minutes because it's so hot and it's so bad. It's such a terrible walk. I don't know. I feel like the walk from our hotel to, because you're going from the Signature to the Excalibur, right?
Mandalay Bay.
You walked all the way to Mandalay Bay?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm saying, but from Excalibur to Mandalay Bay, you're walking inside.
Yeah, but I went straight to Mandalay Bay.
You walked to Mandalay Bay?
Yeah.
In the heat?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I wanted to get there as soon as I could.
Is it faster?
No, it's honestly not that much faster. When I checked the time, like, I did not save that much time at all. I probably saved like maybe 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe. I was like, that was not worth it. But like, when I walked that, I was like, that wasn't too unbearable. Like, I couldn't walk that for like probably 40 minutes. Like 40 minutes, I'd be like, oh, no, I need to get inside. Or I need to bring water. Or in an hour, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
I don't know. I thought I was going to pass out. It was so hot.
People do that. That happens to people. People underestimate the heat.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
It was 109?
Something like that.
So, I don't know. I don't do well with heat anyway. Yeah. If it gets too hot, I'm just like, ugh.
I'm usually pretty good with heat. Like, Vegas is a different kind of heat I'm used to, though. I'm used to, like, humid, like, heat.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is all dry heat. It really just, like, dried out my nose. My nostrils just, like, done.
Well, yeah, because it's a dry heat and it's a dry wind. So every time it, like, blows, your eyes are just like, help. Yeah. Your entire face is like, I'm dying. It's so hot. Yeah. And I'm drying up.
Yeah, like, my main issue is, like, just my nose just, like, dried out. It's always, like, constantly, like, sneezing and stuff like that. It was just awful. That was the main issue on my side. But, like, humid heat is, like, whatever to me. It could be, like, 110 in humid heat and I'll be fine. But in dry heat, it could be, like, 100 in dry heat and I'll be like, oh, no, already. Maybe even 90 and I'll be like, oh, no. Well,
today it was like 90. It was like 89 degrees, 90 degrees.
Yeah, Bay Area heat is like nothing to me. I could walk outside with a jacket and I'll still be fine.
I remember looking at the perceived temperature, right? Because my phone always gives me the perceived temperature. It was like 96 degrees in perceived temperature. I'm like, yeah, it was really hot. Yeah. It was really hot and dry.
So that... Okay, well, I guess I'm using Vegas as a standard now, but it's not that dry compared to Vegas.
Well, yeah,
but the Vegas is desert, so...
You know what I also realized, though, because yesterday we drove to Palo Alto to get some ramen, and, like, it's a 47-minute drive because of traffic.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But, you know, it didn't feel that bad. I'm like, compared to driving 9 hours to Vegas... Or like 2 hours on the road. No biggie.
Yeah,
like, no biggie at all.
Like that's why I don't mind like riding anywhere because I used to commute 2 hours to school because of just traffic. Like that was awful. So like driving anywhere is like whatever to me now. Yeah, like I usually don't mind the weather. Dry heat is like I don't really want to say the exception because it needs to be like extreme dry heat in order for me to be bothered by it. Like Vegas is getting there. To like, oh no, this is getting unbearable for me. But I'm usually fine with the weather. Like, super humid, super cold. It's like kind of whatever to me.
No.
I
don't like either. I want it to be just right. I think if it goes over 80, then it's like, wow, it's really hot for me. Like 86, that's pretty hot.
Yeah, I usually don't notice it's hot until it reaches like 90. Like
90 is like, wow, it is hot.
Like whenever it gets like hot over here, it's like I don't mind it at all. The only time I really notice that it's like actually hot out here is when I'm eating lunch in my car because my car cooks me.
Why don't you just eat inside?
Because it was like it's 20 minutes. I have 20 minutes left for lunch. I got my food, so I'm just eating in the car for a bit and then go back inside. Because I usually go out to get lunch. Huh?
Why don't you just bring it to your desk and eat at your desk?
You're not supposed to eat at your desk.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, okay. You're not supposed to have a lunch at your desk because people think you're working when you're not. Yeah, when you're not working.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So you're not supposed to have lunch at your desk. You can eat at your desk. That's whatever.
Oh, when I worked at when I was interning at Cloudera, everybody ate at their desks. Either they ate in the kitchen or they ate at their desks because there was no cubicle really. Like some people had cubicles, but most people had open desks. So like for me it's just like, oh, I just assume that people are just, they usually take their lunch and then they bring it back to their desk.
It depends on the place.
Yeah.
Always depends on the company.
I just kind of want to talk a little bit more about Vegas.
Okay.
As an adult, like going with friends is really fun. Going with family is fun too, but it's always like, you know, I feel like you can't really experience Vegas the same if you go with family.
Yeah. Definitely the next time we go to Vegas, I want to spend probably a week there.
I want to go to shows. I don't know if I want to spend a week, but maybe like 3 days I'd be cool with.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like, oh, we leave on like the Friday or something like that. Friday night. Or I guess Saturday morning because we leave in the AM. And then like we also come back on like Saturday night or something like that. But it would depend.
Yeah, because for me, Vegas is always like, I can't have too much of Vegas. I get tired of the people. I get tired of the city.
Maybe
it's just it's just a lot.
It is like a lot for some people.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind just like staying in the hotel room some days and just chilling, but like I could do that anywhere. Yeah, I could do that at home. So
for me, it's like I'm thinking like I want to experience the most of Vegas as I can, and I think like a week I'll be like, oh, I got all Vegas.
Yeah, that's true. I want to do more sightseeing outside of Vegas, though. For me, like I want to go kind of far out there, because not even in Vegas, but like we didn't get to see the Red Rock thing. I mean, I've seen it before.
We didn't get to go on the McDonald's train.
We didn't go to the McDonald's train. I want to go to Zion National Park because I hear it's really beautiful. And that's the only national park that I've ever been kind of interested in. The Grand Canyon. You could see the Grand Canyon. We could actually drink.
Yeah.
Because we didn't even get to drink because
we were just busy all.
Yeah, we were just go. Yeah. And our friend was in a tournament, so he couldn't really drink. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a big bummer. It's just like, we didn't really get to, drink in Vegas, which I feel like is like one of the things you do. We gambled, but we didn't really get to drink that much and party it up. So yeah.
Well, yeah, this is how it is. Like next time, plan it better. Stay longer.
I also didn't get to go to a lot of the restaurants that I wanted to go to, but
you didn't like the restaurants you went to?
No, I did. Okay, the pub one wasn't my favorite. Let me just, I appreciated it, right, for what it was. Yeah. But I'm like, it was okay. Mostly because maybe I got something that maybe isn't their specialty. Like if you're going to a pub, maybe get pub food. Yeah. And I was like, oh, like they had barbecue, and I'm like, I love barbecue. But now thinking back on it, if it's a pub, maybe I should have gotten pub food. Like burgers and fish and chips and stuff like that. Maybe that would have been a better experience for me. Yeah. So if you ever go back, maybe we can get something different. But yeah, it was really fun, and we got to go swimming and
that MGM pools are pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of the, I think they have the biggest. I was reading in some of the magazines that they had in the room, and it was like,
what, the biggest pool complex or something like that?
Yeah, like they have the most pools, I guess, because they have like a really long, well, it feels long, it doesn't feel that long, but it's a really like a lazy pool. Yeah. And then they have...
It looks like it goes for a long time, but you take a lap really quick.
Yeah, and then you have to go really early in the morning because
Oh, it's just too many people.
Yeah, and then you're just like, ew, gross. Too many people.
I have to say, the pool water was a lot colder than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Except not in the other pools. In the lazy pool, it was surprisingly cold. Mm-hmm. But if you went into like some of the other pools, they were like a lot warmer. Mm-hmm. So, what I thought was really gross. The
locusts.
They're technically grasshoppers. They're not locusts. Okay. I looked it up. So when we were driving from the Bay to Vegas, right? We stopped at a cafe, and the waitress was like, "Where are you guys going?" And we're like, "Oh, we're going to Vegas." And she's like, "Oh, I was just there with my family," or something like that. Mm. And she's like, the grass, there was so many like grasshoppers, but I guess it's kind of died down by now, basically. And I was like, wait, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't tell you about that.
Yeah, and Kevin knew about this whole grasshopper invasion of Vegas.
It's whatever. It was like whatever.
It was whatever when we got there, but I was like looking at it like before.
Before it was an issue.
Before I'm like, oh my god. So.
But when we got there, it was like, whatever. It's just like, oh, look, there's a bunch of grasshoppers in like this one area.
Yeah, it was really.
Like, near the lights.
Yeah, it was really gross though. Because there was still a lot. Like an uncomfortable amount.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like.
They never went near you, which was the thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like unbearable. Yeah. Right. So. I saw a video of. Some like construction worker or something, and he was like covered in grasshoppers, and I was like, oh no. But it's funny because if you've ever been to Vegas, there's a giant pyramid thing.
The Luxor.
It's called the Luxor, and there's a big light that shines right at the top of the Luxor. And when we walked outside and we looked up, we were walking outside of Excalibur, and we looked up, and there was just like near like the beam of light that comes from the Luxor, there was just so many grasshoppers swarming, and I'm like, so nasty. It's like the bat signal.
But for
grasshoppers.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Like, it sounds bad, but like when you get there, it's not that bad. The main swarm has like died down by the time we got there, and it's like, and they mostly just went towards the night lights at night, and they don't bother you in the day.
Yeah.
Like, it's like whatever. So it was. I really enjoyed Vegas. My favorite parts were definitely like the food and just sightseeing a little bit.
Yeah, we went to Old Vegas, downtown Vegas. Yeah.
We didn't get the zip line though.
You saw it for the first time. You've never seen it before.
Yeah, I've never seen. Well, this is my first trip to Vegas. I've never seen anything.
So, Kevin got to walk down Main Street. And that's usually where I stay. My family usually stays at Main Street. We usually stay at the California, because the California is a big hot spot for people from Hawaii, because you get discounts.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you fly in from Hawaii, you usually get a discount. There's discounted rates for what they call kama'aina rates. So it's for local people to fly in. And you get rates for certain hotels like the California. And that's why when you walked in, everyone was wearing an Aloha shirt, right? And then when you walked past people, you know, they were like, you could tell that they were from Hawaii. So, and then they have Lappert's, which is a Hawaii ice cream chain.
Yeah.
And then they have a cafe, like 2 separate like eating places, and they both kind of cater to that kind of demographic. So they have like rice, and they have loco moco, and they have oxtail soup. So the food is pretty okay. Am I boring you with
No.
With my California talk?
No, this is interesting. It's just that when we went there, everything was closed because we went there late at night.
That's true. So next time if we go, we can actually go to Lappert's. Lappert's is pretty good. It's pretty good ice cream. And then the place next to it is pretty good for breakfast. If you just want like a rice plate. So like Spam, egg, rice.
I want to try more restaurants next time we go there. Like, so that's not a good amount of money to restaurants. Although next time we're flying, so I probably should also set aside some money for Uber and stuff like that for the entire trip.
Oh, I got to see Hell's Kitchen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's true. I got to see the outside of Hell's Kitchen, and we went inside. I kind of want to eat there. Sounds kind of interesting, but...
Well, what do they do there when they're not filming for Hell's Kitchen? It's just a regular kitchen?
I think it's just a regular kitchen. There were people sat down, so...
Alright, we can try it.
And then I want to try... Even though people say that Gordon Ramsay's burger isn't like...
That great?
Yeah, I still want to try it. You know?
Try it, yeah.
I still want to know. I want to try it for myself. So...
What else is there about Vegas?
We got to eat some really good food.
We did get to eat some really good food.
Thanks to Kevin. Thanks to his sponsorship, we got to...
But thanks to Daniel's sponsorship.
Thanks to Daniel's sponsorship, we got to... Xanthem's sponsorship, we got to eat at a very nice restaurant. And it was really good, so...
Yeah, we got to eat at Morimoto's. So...
Iron Chef.
The Iron Chef. It's really good. The food. And our waiter was great. Our waiter really carried us through that. Yeah, through that dinner. Yeah. He really carried us through that dinner.
Yeah, we're like, thanks, Steve. At the end, what a god.
Like he walked us through the entire menu. He gave us his suggestions. Like, it was really helpful having that waiter around.
Also, I did most of the ordering because
I only wanted one thing, the surf and turf.
That's true.
So,
but I've been to a lot of nicer restaurants, so I kind of know that it's better to ask than to just
go blind.
Yeah, because then it's just like you just order stuff and you're just like, well...
Yeah, when you go to a nice restaurant, like, you probably should just ask the waiter because they know more about the menu than you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a given.
Yeah.
So you go to a nice restaurant. And when I mean nice restaurant, I mean like high-end restaurants.
I mean, this was like, on like Google... If you search stuff on Google...
4 stars. Not 4 stars, $4 signs.
Yeah.
Well, we're dropping big money on this one.
Yeah.
Which honestly, like, I was expecting to spend more on a dinner, as I thought it was, but it was fun.
Well, because it was mostly shared, so
which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And I don't mind because that way you get to try more stuff. So, and then you just take little bites of everything, and
it's surprisingly full at the end.
Yeah. I mean, that's how like 12-course meals work. Like, they come out with, like, itty-bitty plates, and you're like, man, I don't know if this is going to fill me up. What if I spend, like, $400 and I'm not full at the end? But there's so much time in between you getting your stuff that you end up getting kind of full. And then it's just, like, it's a good kind of full, and not, like, I'm dying kind of full. Because you've waited so long for your last course that you're just like, wow. I mean, I feel like this was, like, kind of worth it,
Dessert was nice too.
The dessert was good. Yeah. I don't think it was my favorite thing I've ever eaten, but it's just like, it was still really good. I like the cheesecake a lot. People seem to really like the chocolate flambe looking thing.
Yeah.
But I thought the cheesecake was a really nice way to end the dinner.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's kind of tart. Mm-hmm. So it kind of balances the fattiness of like whatever we just ate.
Yeah.
So.
Next time. Probably not that place again. Not because we didn't like it. We loved it. But I feel like we should try other good restaurants next time.
I feel like it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And and what I mean by that is I don't need to go back. Because I've already tried it. And unless there's something like super different about it, I don't think there's a need.
We've gone through like most of the menu when we were there. If people who are listening to this who didn't come with us, so probably like the two of you out there. So people who are listening to this who might go to Vegas one day and think about going to Morimoto's, I suggested set aside a good amount of money, obviously, but I suggested and go once and ask your waiter, because the waiter will walk you through the menu and you get to try like a little bit of everything, and because of that you kind of get everything you want out of the menu. Yeah. So you don't need to go again unless you just really like that food again, just want to have it again. Mm-hmm. But you kind of you taste everything that you want to taste. So we got we got the fish, I got the sushi, we got the meat, we got like the appetizers, like we got a taste of everything. Yeah. And everything else is like you can kind of guess what it tastes like, but you don't need to know. Mm-hmm. You got to eat everything you wanted to know.
What was also nice is that we got to actually have a room to ourselves. Mm-hmm. That was nice. Yep. It's like our first vacation together, kind of away from home. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, just like people out there who are in a relationship and have not gone out to a vacation with their significant other. Do it. It's a good way to like just see how you guys are compatible with each other. Long amount of times, just you two, and if you can't stay in your own room, because like us having our own room, that was very nice. Just us being alone together in that room. Yeah, that was very nice.
It's not something that happens very often, so yeah, it was really nice. I'd like to do it again. Mm-hmm. But
I'm gonna plan on the next trip whenever the next Evo date gets announced. So, and we'll probably try to fly next time.
Yeah, it might be like a yearly thing where we go somewhere. Yeah, as like a friend group or
another thing in our yearly checklist or conventions, and now it's gonna be Evo. Mm-hmm.
It was really fun. Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to go next year.
Anyways, so I kind of wanted to start a new thing. Mm-hmm. Let me just bring it up really quick. You remember doing high school? I don't know if it's popular now, but do you remember doing high school doing those you want to find true love, or how was it described for you? You know what I'm talking about right now. But it was like 32 questions to try to find true love. Is how it was described to me.
I thought it was like 30. It's like questions that you would, it's like almost like icebreaker questions. That's kind of what they are.
Oh, 36 questions.
I mean, to like dumb it down, that's what it is. It's a bunch of icebreakers.
Yeah. So it's 36 questions that lead to love, as described by the New York Times.
Yeah. It's basically like something you ask on your first date. Mm-hmm. To kind of like figure out like where you guys are in life and like what you like,
what the subject is. So there's going to be times where we're not going to have great topics. I mentioned this before to our friends, but every once in a while on Nick's topics, because A, was it going well, or B, like neither of us have much to talk about. Mm-hmm. So sometimes that recording session, or like half of that recording session, will be like, I kind of don't want to use this. Mm-hmm. So what I'm using now is what I guess I will call backup, but I think it'll be interesting for us because it is a very much a couple thing, a relationship thing. But it's 36 questions, how to fall in love. So if you guys want to follow along, I guess.
Does that mean we'll fall in love by the end?
Yes.
I'm excited.
So if you guys want to follow along, I'm using a site called 36 Questions. That's the number 36. 36questionsinlove.com.
Whoa.
So, apparently it has its own website.
Very cool.
So the way it's described is the New York Times lists 36 questions you can ask someone if you want to fall in love or make your love even stronger. So works out for us. This site provides an ideal experience for exploring these questions. So grab some wine. I guess we're going to use water. Sit down with someone you want to love and let's get started.
You want to love.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah. Well, since we're not limited to, I guess, a length of a date, the idea is going to be that we're going to go kind of in depth in these questions.
Yeah.
Quick instructions. Read one question out loud to your partner, then both of you answer. Swap roles for the next question.
Both of you answer at the same time?
I don't think it matters. Answering all 36 questions should take about 1 hour. It's going to take a lot longer for us.
Yeah.
But time isn't important. I agree.
That's true. Yeah.
So the first question is, if you could invite anyone in the world to dinner, who would it be?
Now, I said this when we were talking in the car because Kevin brought this up to me, this first question. And he told me, just save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I told him, I don't like this question at all.
How come?
Because I don't have anybody I want to meet with.
Really?
I don't really care. Like, even if it's from a timeline, it could be from whatever time I want. You could bring them back from the dead.
Yeah, it would be anyone, anytime, and language is no problem.
Oh, I actually do have somebody I want to talk to.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay, well, I have a couple people in mind for me. I think number one for me, just because his work has influenced me for a longer length of time without even me noticing it, would probably be Yoko Taro. I've played the Drakengard series when I was really young, I guess. And then I played Nier, not knowing it was by the same person. Nier, the original Nier Gestalt. And then I played Automata in anticipation because I found out it was the same guy. And I really like his work. And I really like how his mind works. And the more I learned about him, the more interested I was in just him personally. I also know that he's also kind of an antisocial guy. He's a very much introvert. He really does not like having his face shown in the world, which is why he wears that the mask that he wears. If you actually look him up, I don't know if it still applies now, but before, if you were to look up Yoko Taro, you'll see his actual face, which was kind of unfortunate. But you may also see his mask that he wears, which is one of his characters in his games. So, and it's just like this giant moon head thing with a big smile on it. But he's an eccentric person, and he's someone that I kind of want to, I guess, not entirely know how his mind works, but I think having a conversation with him would be a lot more interesting than just meeting one of my idols or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's the first person that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I guess other people that come to mind, Horikoshi, the author of My Hero. Not because of My Hero exactly, actually. It's because I've been following him since Barrage, which actually is not relative. It's not since, because Barrage is only one manga before, one series before My Hero Academia, which is his biggest series right now. But I think it's because I've been following him for so long that I'm kind of interested in asking him questions that I don't want to say hard-hitting questions because it sounds too much like an interview instead of a conversation. But I kind of want to ask him how has having a big series now impacted his work?
Yeah.
Being actually successful.
I was talking about that. I was talking to my sister about what is it like, being a webtoon artist? The girl that does My Giant...
Giant Nerd Boyfriend.
Yeah, My Giant Nerd Boyfriend. Because now she has her own cartoon.
Yeah, her own anime series.
Yeah, which is like
her own merch.
Her own merch. She's like featured on. She's like she's always in like the top 5 of something, right? On Webtoons. And I'm just like, what is it like to just like go from being a regular person to all of a sudden being so famous?
Yeah, super successful.
Yeah, especially when you were just a regular person. I mean, and that's how everybody starts, right?
Yeah, when you just have these regular comic strips and all of a sudden just get this big boost.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what, like, Shen and whatever.
Yeah, Shen and probably other people like the author of Unordinary.
Yeah.
Like Odd One Out, when he had a crazy year when it was like super popular.
Yeah.
So like just having this all of a sudden fame, basically. It's not like gradual.
Yeah.
It's just like all of a sudden like bam.
Yeah.
You're really popular in your field.
Yeah. And I think, like, to me, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, would I ever want to be that famous? And I'm like, not really. I don't know if I'd ever want to be like that, you know?
The thing with me, like, I would have to know if I want to be like that. It's something that I'm not sure how I would change as a person. I don't know if I'll change like a lot or change like none at all. Right? I think I wouldn't change that much, but I have never been famous before.
Yeah.
Right? I never had that like massive all of a sudden success. So, and I never think I will, which is the thing. So I can't accurately say that like, oh, fame won't change me. Yeah. That's something I'm not like confident in myself and being like, nah, it won't do anything for me.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be even like recognized on the street for something. Like if somehow this podcast blows up for some reason, right?
Well, it would be very hard to recognize on the street considering we don't put our face out there.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if there was a point, right? Because I'm very like whatever, people can see whatever. I post things on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like of my face or of like us. So it's like you could know what we look like if you saw my
tried hard enough.
Yeah, I saw my Instagram or whatever.
It's not easy, but it's not like difficult.
Yeah, if you're like really weird and you could do that. But I just can't imagine like what it would be like to have something just kind of blow up overnight and make you so incredibly famous.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like the overnight success for the people we mentioned wasn't really overnight.
Yeah.
It was like over a couple months at the very minimum.
Yeah.
Like Odds One, like it was definitely over like a couple months before he like hit hard, basically. And like people like the author of My Journal Boyfriend Unordinary, it was over a longer length of time.
Yeah.
But it very was much like, oh, we started from nothing.
Yeah.
And got to success.
Yeah. Which is really commendable. I'm just saying because I feel like because we've been following them for a while.
Yeah.
So it always just feels like, whoa, like when did this happen?
Yeah.
Like it got so popular all of a sudden.
Yeah, that really is a running theme for me and the people I would like to meet, which is it's not because they're like super successful. It's because I've been following them for a long time.
Yeah.
Like the difference between someone like Yoko Taro and the author of My Hero is the author of My Hero started from like a manga that got canceled after like 17 chapters.
Yeah.
To one like the most popular Shonen Jump manga in America.
Yeah, that to me is really crazy.
Yeah. Like it's not Japan. Japan will always have One Piece. But America is kind of hard to quantify, but I will probably say currently it's the most popular Shonen Jump series.
It's like the new Naruto.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty crazy.
And so like that's the thing that interests me. Like Yoko Taro, it seems like his content has not changed. Or like his philosophy towards his content has not changed. His game making, his storytelling, like none of it's different. And it's one of those things where I hope that doesn't change. But he also has gone on record to say like, would you make a Nier Automata 2, right? Yeah. And like, he has said something along the lines of, if they pay me enough.
Hey, honestly,
which is like respect, right?
Yeah.
But it's also one of those things like, I understand and I respect that, but it kind of breaks from like this image I have, which is this person who is unwilling to change his content for what for what story he wants to tell.
Yeah.
Which it was never entirely true. So for instance, Drakengard 1, for those who has played it, there's two modes of the game. There's this Dynasty Wars, like hack and slash action, which is like 3D and you just kill enemies. And then there is this like weird ace combat section where you fly around with your dragons for killing stuff. Originally, the game was supposed to be just the flying dragon part. Hence Drakengard, dragon, whatever. You make a pact with a dragon, that's the whole story. The hack and slash part was actually put in after the fact because of the popularity of Dynasty Warriors.
Oh.
Yeah. So, in a way, he changed his content because of studio mandate.
Yeah.
So, it was like, it wasn't always true, but it breaks my perception of what he wanted to make. And, like, that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of want to have a conversation with him. Is like, does that bother him personally? And if it doesn't, like, how has that affected his writing or whatever? And like, how has his philosophy towards game making and making content has changed because of that? And like, if I had to guess, you'd probably say something along the lines of like, it probably always has affected him because having a lot of money, it also has its issues, but having no money will also have its issues.
Yeah.
So like, his games weren't always super successful. Like, I think nearly every one of his games did not do well except for Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Like Nier Gestalt New Replicant had its own niche party, and the Drakengard series, even though it had 3 games, all did like So it's one of those things where it's like, he didn't find success, and that probably affected his writing just as much as find success did. So, but it's something I still kind of want to ask. I want to hear his answer, to be honest. So can you think of anybody else?
I can't think of anybody famous that I'd want to meet.
Did I clarify famous?
No.
No, anyone in the world.
Yeah. So I can't think of anybody famous that I would want to meet, because you were talking about people that were in an industry, you know, who were like famous people. But I just don't care about them.
Well, there's also like lots of small people I would like to meet, like mainly Badass Hero. Like it probably would not be hard to meet him.
Yeah.
But I would still like to meet him because I've actually been watching his content since his original Ib days.
Yeah.
Which if you don't know Ib or Ib, it's an old RPG Maker game. And it kind of started an RPG Maker craze, kind of like how Yume Nikki also started the RPG Maker craze.
It was pretty okay.
Yeah, it's pretty okay, but it had a big influence at the time.
Yeah. I'm still surprised when I see cosplays for Ib.
Yeah. But and I've been following his content for a while, and I won't say it dropped off, but I definitely watch a lot less of his stuff.
I feel like his style, his like sense of like his brand of humor doesn't really jive with me anymore. And that's like nothing against him, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can be yourself. I don't care. It's just really not what I'm looking for right now.
Yeah.
But I really liked Manly's, and I don't want to be like that person that's like, I like your old content better. But I really did like the RPG Maker, yeah, the horror games,
the indie stuff,
yeah,
the
when
really
he was
small stuff,
playing Corpse Party.
Like I really like his light playthroughs, his Crooked Man playthroughs.
The Crooked Man was really good.
So I would like to meet him just because I feel like him and I would have a lot in common, or at the very least we'll have a lot to talk about. So that's someone like a lot smaller that I would like to meet. There's also other YouTubers I would love to meet.
I'd like to meet some YouTubers, and sit down and have coffee or something. I guess those would be people that I would like to talk to. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that, like, even if I did talk to them, it's like, let's say that I'm not starstruck, right?
Yeah.
I can only think of maybe like a couple people that I'd really like to have a conversation with.
Well, there's a couple people I would like to talk to. Let's see. Well, at the risk of bringing up some, I guess, quote unquote controversial people, mm-hmm. I'd love to meet H Bomber Guy and ContraPoints, Philosophy Tube. All three of those people, the left tube section. I would love to meet them, like, and have conversations on, not necessarily like politics, mm-hmm. but their thoughts on certain things. So H Bomber Guy, I would love to hear his thoughts on certain media.
Yeah.
Right. Because the thing that brought me into his content was his views on certain shows and certain things, like mm-hmm. His Doctor Who episode, or like his H.P. Lovecraft episode, and how his views have changed throughout all that. Mm-hmm. ContraPoints specifically, I would love to talk to her about sexuality and stuff like that, mm-hmm. because I feel like I can be enlightened more or less about certain parts of not necessarily her sexuality, but like sexuality in general. Mm-hmm. And philosophy too, like I would love to talk to him about, I guess, general philosophy, but like especially in terms of like mental health and stuff like that. So those are like three people that I would love to meet. Three specifically on the left tube side that I would love to meet.
Yeah.
Can you think of any YouTubers?
I've already met him, but I'd like to talk with Giguk over coffee.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you think Giguk's a coffee or tea kind of guy?
Probably a tea kind of guy.
Probably tea. Are you saying that because he lived in London?
I'm saying that, yeah.
I don't know. He kind of like just random assumptions I'm making off Giguk. We sort of met him at like a panel.
Yeah.
But like I feel like he's more of a coffee kind of guy. I don't know why.
I don't know. I just like to talk about anime with all the AniTubers, really.
Yeah, really though. Like Giguk is one of them. I love to talk to him about AniTube.
I don't know if I want to talk to Digibro, but I don't think Digibro's a bad guy. Not at all.
No.
I'm sure
they're perfectly fine people. Like, okay, like to be clear, regardless if we like or hate these people, mm-hmm. I'm sure that they're probably fine people.
Yeah.
It's more of
I think some of their internet personas can be a little controversial. Mm-hmm. So
like Digital's probably a fine person, but I'm not sure if having a conversation with him about
I wouldn't want to talk to him about anime. Yeah. But probably talking to him about anything else would be fine.
Yeah. Like Giguk, Mother's Basement.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to him about anime, not just anime. Mm-hmm. Just Japanese media in general. When I say Japanese media, I specifically mean like, I guess anime is included, but like manga and light novels. Mm-hmm. Especially now, considering that he's trying to like broaden his content. Mm-hmm. Beyond just anime. Like he started the book club. Mm-hmm. Right? And I'm really interested on like what his thoughts on certain things are for how can I say this? I'm interested in how he views certain mediums over others.
Yeah.
In particular. Like I love to talk to him about like certain shows. Mm-hmm. But in particular that, because that's been coming up recently on how light novel, that medium, is different from anime and how that's translated over. Mm-hmm. Like like his series Adapt or Die. Like I found those episodes really interesting. Because it really shows like how certain mediums don't work in others, and how it's kind of flawed to think like a 1-to-1 translation is flawed. You know?
Yeah.
Okada is another one. Okada is an interesting one because like with all these people I'm mentioning, I really want to talk to them about very specific stuff. Okada is another AniTuber. I want to talk to him about dubs in particular, because he was one of the first people. Like, I always thought like dubs were like okay, but he's one of the people that really convinced me that like, oh, dubs can be better than subs, and sometimes can be even a better viewing experience for you. He's one of the first people to convince me of that. And before I knew Arcada, like I've already seen like, oh, the Beck dub, or the Mongolian Chop Squad Beck, and the Bakano dub, which are two like, kind of popular dubs in like the anime community space. But yeah, he's probably the first one that showed me like, yeah, dubs can be equivalent to subs, and if they're equivalent, you can watch either, and it works out fine. Is there any tubers in particular you want me like, or anything you want to talk about Giga about in particular?
I'd like to meet that whole group with, Joey, the anime man, even though I don't watch his content, right? He just seems like a cool guy. And then like Aki Dearest, even though I find her content a little like, not for me, I'm still subscribed. I don't know why. But even though I don't find her content to be for me, I still enjoy some of the videos. And I think that she'd probably be a really cool person. But it's not like I don't have anything to discuss with people. It's just like I want to know.
You just want to know them.
Yeah, it's just like I want to just hang out, talk, get some coffee, and then that's about it.
Yeah,
talk about whatever. Because I don't want it to be like, oh, what do you feel about like this and this? I just want it to be like a cool, like chill thing. Talk about whatever, play a game or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
but that's like the kind of person I am. Although I am very nosy and I like to know things, but I just can't see myself just asking a bunch of questions like that. Like, what is your first...
To have an actual... not have an actual discussion. To, I guess, not necessarily do a Q&A, but interview them.
Yeah, it's like pick their brain apart. That's not like what I'm there for.
Yeah. For me, like having the discussion part, there's probably a lot less people. Well, okay, I can think of one in particular. I'd love to like get to know Philip DeFranco. I think that's one person I'd love to get to know. Just because, like, yeah, he seems like a cool dude, very chill. And he's also the person that I've been following for a long time, and to see his like change over time. But to know him when the camera's off is something I'm kind of interested in.
There's not a lot of people that I would like to know. Just a lot of people that I'm like, that would be cool if we were acquaintances. I guess. Like, oh, that'd be cool if I, knew somebody who knew PewDiePie, or if me and PewDiePie were cool like that. I mean, it's not even like a thing. Yeah. But it's just like, oh, that'd be cool if, like text each other or something every once in a while. Or meet up and get coffee or do whatever. Yeah. But I can't really think of somebody who I'd really like to like pick their brain apart. Really? Yeah, I can't really think of somebody who I'm like who's in my field, who I feel like I have to talk to. Like I gotta, if I were dying and that was my make a wish or something. Right? If I were dying and they were like, you can talk to anybody you want, I can't think of like a single person that I'm like, besides the people that I just mentioned, that I'm just like, that I feel like I have to talk to. Can't think of like, especially somebody in my field. I can't think of someone that I'm like, it'd be nice if I got to meet them. I'm really trying to think.
I'm trying to think more of like more people I would love to get to know. I guess some more people, like, it would I think of all the Annie-tubers, I think the person like I would love to get to know would be Giguk.
Yeah.
I think I would love to get to know Giguk.
Yeah. He seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. Like, and like from what we've seen of him at panels and just meets, it's like he does seem like a sweet person.
Hey, you know, if anybody's listening, guys, if you want to meet up, just email us. Doubt, but it's cool.
What else is there? I'd love to get to know Maximilian Dude.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, I'd love to get to know him, and that was not even that hard. Like I'm pretty sure he lives in California. So, and I know he goes to some of the conventions that are local to us. Mm-hmm. So, I would love to get to know him, especially since he's the person who got me into fighting games. Mm-hmm. I would love to get to know him and just, have lunch together or something like that.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that I'm like, yeah, I'd be down to get lunch with them, I guess, or get coffee. Something not really committal, you know, not something that I have to like.
Not necessarily have a dinner, but like.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to be like, oh, what if it's uncomfortable? I can't just leave, you know, especially if you're waiting for dinner.
Just to have like a chill, like, oh, let's take a drink or whatever.
Yeah, let's go get a drink somewhere. Go to a bar. Mm-hmm. You know.
Get boba.
Yeah, get boba. Honestly, I'm not really into coffee. I've realized I can't really drink coffee anymore or caffeinated stuff in general. Makes me feel really weird. But yeah, I'm not really sure if there's a person that I'm like, I gotta meet him.
That's surprising to me, considering that like I'm like looking around, like the author 20th Century Boys, or like the creator of Rama, or
no, I like their work, but I don't have to meet them. I already met what's it called? The voice of Winnie the Pooh.
Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to like have a conversation with him?
No, we don't. I don't think we'd have much to talk about, except for me going like, I love Winnie the Pooh. You really like my whole childhood. So.
You know who seems like a very sweet person? Charles Martinet.
Oh yeah.
He seems like a very, very sweet person.
We've met Charles Martinet a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 times.
I feel like more than that.
Yeah, because he comes to SAC Anime a lot, often, yeah. Which is a local convention in Sacramento, which we might have touched upon before. But he's always a guest there.
Regular guest.
Yeah, and he's a really nice guy. Whenever you go to get an autograph, he's really, really nice.
He really knows how to brighten someone's day, honestly.
Yeah, he is such a nice guy. Mm-hmm. So if anything comes out like a scandal, I'll be devastated. I just I don't know if
there's also people who are like, I'll be devastated about if anything comes out.
Yeah, I don't know if my heart can take it, because he's just been every time I come and see him, he's just been the sweetest guy. So
I just thought of someone that like I would love to have met, Robin Williams. I would love to meet Robin Williams. His comedy and like his acting, his performances on his like more serious stuff. Yeah. His works. It brings joy to me sometimes. It makes me feel things that I have not felt in a long time. Like his performance in Good Will Hunting, or what was that movie called with the Carpe Diem and Dead Poets Society. I think like the main reason why those 2 performances hit me hard is because it's sort of like father figure performances, which is something that has been relating to me more and more recently.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So, yeah, and like I said, I love his comedy. So like I grew up with watching his old comedy shows on YouTube and whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in that same vein of like relating to people because of your father, the only person I can think of that I would want to meet is my grandpa on my dad's side, because he passed away when I was like a year old. But everybody said that he loved me very, very much. So I'd like to meet up with him and tell him how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Although maybe he can see me from wherever he is.
You know, coming on along those lines, since I've already hinted at it, I'd love to have a dinner with my dad. For those who don't know, I guess my dad passed away not last year, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Wow. Yeah. Has it already been 2 years already?
It's already been. And I would love to have like one last dinner with him. Not necessarily because like just to catch up or whatever, but because I would love to have that language barrier broken down for at least one day. Because that was the main issue with me and my dad trying to talk to each other. Was that there was that language barrier.
Yeah.
Like his English wasn't that great, and I didn't know Vietnamese. I still don't know Vietnamese, so it was really hard to talk to each other. So to have like one dinner where language is no issue, and just to get to know him as a person, I feel is like the most important thing to me. I think of all the people I would like to meet, that's number one.
That's very sad, but very sweet. Yeah, this year was rough for me. This year was really rough. Yeah. So I can relate with that. You know, wanting to see people after they've gone. I can relate. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah. So. That's a hard topic, though.
Yeah. And this is supposed to be kind of lighthearted.
I mean, it still is. Like, that's a hard topic, like losing people like that. But, you know, like, wanting to meet people again, that one last time. Like, that kind of relates to, like, if you want to meet, you know, anyone in the world.
Yeah.
And have a conversation with them.
Because it's probably
going to be your one last chance.
Yeah, once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah, if this actually applies, like, it's probably going to be your one and only chance. Like, I know for most of the people I've talked about, they're in Japan. So I was like, oh, I'm probably never going to meet them.
Yeah.
And never, or even less, actually have, like, a dinner with them.
Yeah.
Just having that one last thing with someone close to you, I feel like that applies.
Yeah. Hey, make sure you spend as much time with the people that you love before they're gone. Because can't do it when they're dead. That's just straight up facts. Yeah.
The second question is, would you like to be famous, and in what way?
That's easy.
I think we've already answered that. In a way, I would say yes.
Yeah.
In another way, I'll say no. But
was the question, would you like to be famous?
Yeah, would you like to be famous, and if so, in what way?
See, I'd like to. Part of me wants to be famous, right? Because with being famous, there's also money.
Perks.
Yeah.
Well, it's being money.
But I don't want to be that famous.
No.
I want to be like locally famous. Like, you know, like people in my city are like, whoa, that's pretty cool.
I think the most famous I ever want to be is internet famous.
That's a good one to be famous for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then nobody really knows you.
Yeah.
I changed my answer. That's the kind of famous I would want to be.
In what way? Internet famous.
Internet famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. Then that's it.
Yeah. Minor fame, but not excessive fame.
I don't think I'd want a big house. I think I want the same kind of house that I've always been well, I guess for some people that would be pretty big.
Hey, your house is pretty big compared to what I grew up in.
Yeah.
That's what I like to be famous. Internet famous in a small scale internet famous, not like PewDiePie size.
But I think I'd like to be famous in some way. I'd like to be at least respected for what I do.
Yeah.
I don't really care about, like, I don't want to be famous and not, like, famous for the wrong, like, I don't want to be infamous. You know, I want to be famous because I did something and it was something good. It was something that you could respect. I don't really want it to be something that like people didn't really like. So, and I want to be famous for my art. I want to be famous for something that I put a lot of effort into. And
what if you were famous for your art, but you're like famous in a modern art kind of way?
I'd be down with it.
Really?
Yeah, because that means somebody appreciated it. You know? And wouldn't it be awesome to be in the MoMA? I think it would be super cool.
To have an exhibit?
Yeah. To be in the MoMA? Are you kidding? That would be so cool. I would love to go into the MoMA and be like, that's my art on the wall. Just being in any museum would be awesome, or being in a gallery. You know, that would be really, really cool.
Yeah. I don't know, for me, being a famous engineer is weird.
You know, you would have to make something pretty extraordinary.
Or something pretty devastating. Yeah. Like, being a famous engineer, there's only two kinds of famous engineers. You either invented something that's life-changing, or you invented something that... or you created something that caused mass death. That's only really the two ways to be a famous engineer.
Yeah.
Like, there's other ways you can be famous for, like, finding stuff. Like Hawking's, like, the stuff he found was amazing. Or like Einstein. Like the stuff they find is extraordinary. But being a famous engineer, the two most common methods is invent something life-changing or create something that caused mass death. And do I want to be famous for either of those? Not really.
Make a robot. A good one.
A really good one. A sex bot.
Could.
Yeah, but...
You could make... I always feel weird about robot, like, servants. I don't like it. There's something about it that is not good. It reminds me of Astro Boy.
Oh.
And I don't like that. There's a whole thing in Astro Boy, an episode of it, where they talked about robot rights. So it reminds me of that. But I think if you could make something that, I don't know, I feel like just doing your part is changing the world even a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Being a cog in the machine, in the system.
Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of examples of, like, famous engineers who didn't do stuff that I mentioned, like found something extraordinary or like create something life-changing or cause mass death. But I feel like those are the most common ones. And
or you could be somebody that nobody knows. You could maybe make something and nobody cares. You know?
Minor fame.
Yeah, well, so I worked for this private airport, and there was this guy, and he flew on these flights to Hawaii in this private shuttle. And he flew on this private shuttle, and it was a direct flight to Hawaii, basically. And he's sitting with all these ladies, and he's chatting it up. And I overhear it because I'm working at the front desk. And I overhear it, and he's like, oh, yeah, you know, I just made the defibrillator. And I'm like, doubt, you know? I don't believe this man made the defibrillator.
Did you look it up?
Yeah.
And he did?
I think, I'm pretty sure it was him. And I'm like, what a weird thing to throw around.
Yeah.
Like, I made the defibrillator.
Oh, he saved lots of lives.
Yeah, but also, like, bizarre. Like, what are you doing here? Just like when I was working there, certain, like, famous people would fly in. And I remember one day I was sitting at the front desk, and the members of Green Day walked in and sat there, just watching the game. Right? They were watching like the 49ers and then some other team, and they were upset because the 49ers were losing, right? As per usual.
Yeah. Nothing new there.
So.
Yeah, it could be worse. It could be a Raiders fan.
Yeah. I don't know if it was the Niners or the Raiders, but it was a Bay Area team, right? Mm-hmm. It was just so bizarre to see Green Day in such a casual setting. Mm-hmm. And also, I didn't want to say hi because I didn't want to be weird. Mm-hmm. And also, I only listened to
a couple songs.
Yeah, one Green Day album, and that's American Idiot, and that's it. So
they probably would get that a lot though. Like, oh, I love American Idiot. Like, yeah.
Whatever. I love that musical. But yeah, I mean, it's just really, it's bizarre when you see famous people because you're like, I'm not sure if they're famous. It's who they are.
It gets weirder when you see them in a casual setting.
Yeah. Or like, you know, those stories that Tony Hawk tells about like people not saying like, hey, you look like that Tony Hawk guy. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh yeah, really? Yeah, it's weird. Mm-hmm. I'd like to be that kind of famous where people don't really know that I'm famous until they're like, oh,
you did that.
You did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the person who does that. Mm. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? I mean, I guess. Humble brag, you know. I like to be like, oh, you're part of that podcast. Kevin and whoever that is.
How did I get the big one?
I mean, you talk more than I do.
No, I don't think that's true.
Wouldn't it be crazy if this podcast took off one day?
Yeah. I mentioned this before. Like, I don't think it will, just because how hard it is to have a podcast take off. But like, it would be nice.
Yeah, it would be pretty crazy.
Like you said, the day we get a sponsor is the day I say we made it.
I can't even imagine. Who would our sponsor be?
Well, even after that, like, it has to be a sponsor that like I agree with our product. Mm. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a couple more steps, I guess.
Yeah. It's got to be people who will let us say anything we want. I mean, it's not like we're super controversial either.
No.
You know, we don't say anything that's like too out there.
Yeah. I think it's like, as long as your product isn't just straight up bad. Like, yeah. I'll say what I need to say about your product. Sorry,
no unethical products here.
Yeah.
We're all about equality and fairness. Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Sorry that this podcast is late.
Yeah.
It's really, really late. Mm-hmm. You might have noticed it's like maybe a month late.
Well, okay. I'm going to mention this ahead of time. I think what I'm going to do is just upload whenever. Well, I'm not going to say upload whenever. I'm going to try to keep to a schedule. I am always going to upload on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It's just matters. Oh, are we going to get an episode this time?
Yeah, it's a lot of like, because I have school, Kevin has work, and then we also are trying to go to the gym.
We're trying to do a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah, so
we all have our own hobbies. This podcast isn't our number one priority. Mm-hmm. Like I said, like, if we really wanted this to take off, yes, it would be our number one priority.
Yeah.
But we both agree, like, we don't expect it to.
Yeah, and it's just for fun.
Yeah, it really is just for fun.
So if, like, I don't want to feel like I have to do it.
Yeah.
Because then it's not fun anymore. It's a job.
Screw our statistics. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. So if it's like, I don't want to sit here and be like, well, I just don't really want to record, you know? And I've been wanting to record for a while, so.
So yeah, like, I'm going to upload whenever. I might sit on an episode or like delay an episode. Mm-hmm. Or maybe one day we'll actually have episodes back to back.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I'm going to have it, so we upload on Sundays. That's not going to change. Mm-hmm. But there's going to be delays.
Right.
There's going to be in-betweens. But I'm going to try, emphasis on try, to keep it week by week.
Yeah. Especially since I've started school again. Mm-hmm. So my schedule might even change tomorrow because I'm seeing my advisor.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows really what the future holds. But I think I said this in the beginning of this podcast, of this episode, that I don't know if Kevin wants to, but I want to try to get maybe a third voice. And I did mention this, actually, now that I remember, I did mention this. I want to get a third voice, or maybe pushing it is getting a fourth, because we're sitting in my room and my table only holds 3 people. It is a very small room and a very small table. So if we try to record with more than 3 people, it might be a problem. Also,
yeah, kind of hot.
Yeah, it would be kind of warm in here too. But yeah, we're thinking of getting some familiar faces back.
So maybe we'll get more guest episodes, and with the gaps in between, probably like more common thing.
Yeah, especially since I think sometimes it's easier to hold a conversation when there's like a third person who can chime in.
Yeah.
And especially if somebody doesn't have anything to say, because sometimes that happens with Kevin and I.
Like I said, I've nixed topics before, and that's one of the main reasons why.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll just talk about stuff and like it goes in a circle, and then
it's kind of...
Yeah, it's not interesting for anybody.
So if you already think this podcast is boring, then you do not want to listen to the other stuff.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable, really.
So I think with that said, thank you for listening to episode 16 of Just a Couple Thoughts. I've been one half of your resident couple, Kevin.
It's the big 1-6.
Yep. And on the other side, that is my lovely girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah.
Oh, yeah. 7 years.
In the comments, tell me, I want to hear who you guys want to meet. The famous part that I can give less of a shit about.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit less interesting to me, but I want to hear who would you like to meet.
Yeah.
Right.
You can
answer as many times as you want. You can do whatever, but
can it be anybody you want?
Yeah, anyone you want. Language barrier gone. Whatever.
Time barrier gone.
Time barrier. It could be someone in the future.
That would be crazy. Yeah, meet your like great grandchild or something, or your friends in the future. That would be an insane one.
Yeah.
Like, who's still around 50 years from now? Who died of high cholesterol?
Meet your future self. That would be an interesting one.
Meet your future self. I don't want to meet my future self. I feel like my future self wouldn't have much to offer.
But yeah, that's something I'm interested in. So leave a comment on who would you like to meet. It could be whatever. I think with that said, thank you for listening. And I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Oh shit! Almost forgot. If you have any questions, you can email us. Leave a comment. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.
God.